welcome to my igcse drama portfolio. So I'll be going over my group's devised piece and our 3 stages of development. Let's begin with the first one, our stimulus. We had 4 stimuli to choose from, and they were each interesting in their own way, but it was quickly decided amongst ourselves that the promise was the best one. Based on that stimulus, we came up with many ideas, like New Year resolutions, to marriage, to blood packs. But eventually we came up with something we called routine, as in promising to stick to a routine. But it was soon discovered that it wasn't working out at all. And we unexpectedly found a style that we've never considered before. Theater in education. But I'll talk about that in the next section. So soon afterwards, we came across this idea of processing the dead as 3 angels to show the audience that they should be grateful for the lives they have, linking with the theme of life and death, and that formed the basis of our whole component. As the idea grew, it evolved. Angels were turned into purgatory figures in limbo, lecturing a comatose audience, giving them a second chance at a better life. And we, as superior purgatory figures, lecture them and try to steer them away from this path again. At the same time, the audience also pledges to be better versions of themselves, connecting to the stimulus. We took huge inspirations from the TV series The Good Place and other near-death experiences.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
We still kept to our original core value though, to teach people to be more grateful and to live life to the fullest. But we started going through ideas like the Darwin Awards, which is a, quote, tongue-in-cheek award given to individuals who have contributed to human evolution by selecting themselves out of the gene pool, end quote. We're trying to say how society is stupid, but don't foolishly throw your life away without being aware of the consequences. We also looked into the subject of school shootings. 1, to provide our own opinions on this topic as students ourselves, and 2, is that horrifying things happen every day, and you never know what's around the corner. So you should treasure every day like it's a gift. And we looked into the problem of homelessness, as we want to bring attention to this crippling issue and to finally give a voice to those who are often ignored on the sidewalk. We hope the audience will be grateful that they are in better positions, that these people could very well be them instead. We separated all of these anecdotes into various framing devices, where we will multi-role. Eventually, we came up with a framework, calling our piece A Chance of a Lifetime. These are the basic 6 scenes that we've broken down to. Later, these bits and pieces will turn into something more refined, but for now, on to section 2. Our chosen but unfamiliar style, theater in education. After the initial frustration at learning something new, we came up with a combination of Brecht and Berkhoff for physical theater and Stanislavski for naturalism, and a hint of Artaud to penetrate the audience. As one of our main practitioners, we utilized many of Berkhoff's techniques, like direct address to the audience, stylized movement and speech, narration, and, of course, minimalism. Physicality is a big part of his style, so we incorporated a lot of synchronized movements, especially in the Darwin Awards scene, which added a much stronger sense of character. The other main practitioner we chose was Brecht, and some of his techniques have already overlapped with Berkhoff. But something we did use in particular was his belief that the audience should retain critical thinking skills during the performance, as this is theater in education. This was accompanied by the V effect, the alienation of the audience, to avoid emotional investment. We demonstrated by posture, tone, and movement, especially for our main focus, the purgatory figures. Contradicting Brecht, we also incorporated Stanislavski, evidently in the school shooting and homelessness scenes. Both have elements of naturalism, but as we have taken the role of ourselves as students for the school shooting section, it makes it all the more real for us, even if the lines we say are purely statistics. As for the homelessness scene, it is a drastic change from our purgatory selves. The 4th wall is restored, and the emotion is palpable. Something that emphasized naturalism is our use of verbatim. The characters we played are all real people. What we say are the real words. At the end, we sang a song we wrote ourselves, with an Artodian twist. Seen from the abrupt and shocking way we end our piece, with desperate screams of our inevitable death. This uses some techniques from Artaud's theater of cruelty, like physicality and universal language. It could almost be certain that what we did has achieved its effect, to penetrate the audience. This all proves that we meet the requirements of theater and education by choosing an educational topic and stretching ourselves with a variety of techniques and ideas. Now, finally, on to section 3, our rehearsal process. The final version of our framing devices looked something like this. To craft our personas or purgatory figures, we took particular inspiration from Neutral Janet in The Good Place, and airline hosts for voice and speech patterns.
Before we take off, please be sure your seat backs are in the upright and locked position, your tray table is put away, and all carry-on items are securely stowed.
Originally, we were going to move on with new characters of scientists/researchers, but we could never quite place the characterization right. So we decided to stick to the portrayal purgatory figures, as we already have too many components. For our selfie side scene, we changed a lot since the beginning. Multiple things had to be removed, as we felt it was quite tasteless to not take the deaths of these girls seriously. There was a huge problem with the instantaneous character shifts, which we'd practiced a lot for. We were ourselves for the school shooting scene, i.e. students, in an attempt at a naturalistic setting, as we reenact how we actually feel when we hear those frightening statistics. One of my favorite parts in our piece is when we count the number of deaths, and all three of our voices bleed together in a cacophony. Our best scene, though, agreed unanimously, is our homelessness scene. The use of naturalism and verbatim makes everything feel so much more raw, paired with the combination of an awkward group therapy session, makes the whole atmosphere very engaging. Originally, we were going to compare the problem of homelessness to a spontaneous chemical reaction, which was a great idea, but it felt a bit redundant. So then, we changed to using verbatim and telling homeless victims' stories with their own words, which in turn made for our best scene in the piece. We wrote our own song based on the ideology of our main message, and we hope the bleak and candid lyrics will leave some sort of mark on their lives. We chose to end the entire piece by screaming about the things that will kill you, which is just about everything. This echoes our main message yet again, stressing our point about treasuring your life and not taking it for granted. Through all this, me and my groupmates have definitely struggled a lot. It's not a perfect piece, but I think we have done it to the best of our abilities. And in the end, I felt like it was a very fruitful experience, and I couldn't be more proud of what we did together as a team.
All good, you're probably busy. Me too, can count the blessing. There have been too many lately. All day been smiling.